morning, everyone, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Chattanooga. Welcome, whether you're in this space or online. I invite y'all to get in here so we can get our service going, and I want to make a couple pre-service announcements today. I want to, first of all, say that we have some exits in the building that I'd like to point out. It is a time where we need to be aware of safety. There's an exit here. The back doors will be locked after service begins, and folks will be paying attention to that. When they are locked, there are still push bars, and you can get out. There are safety routes in the basement, and there are places in something called the Sprouts room and the forum room in case we would need to ever take cover. It makes me greatly sad to have to make this announcement today, but I am also gladdened by the people that are here and the idea that we can be together today on this Memorial Day here in Chattanooga, here at the Unitarian Universalist Church, where we know that peace is important. Our opening words are called by Loss, Called by Peace by Heather K. Janlis. Called by loss, called by peace. We come this day called by war, by the suffering we inflict and endure. When minds across borders fail to reason and compromise, we come this day called by loss. The death of those who serve in our names, those who live and end before their natural course in service to a cause greater than their own. We come this day called by hope. Hope we will, in some season, finally surrender our swords for plowshares, and we come to this day called by peace. May we hear its song. May we proclaim its promise. May we remember today, renew our struggle, and that we can never stay or rest. I'd like to invite Rich, who doesn't know this, up to light our chalice, and y'all to join me in our chalice lighting words. In the light of truth, the warmth of love, gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. I invite all to rise in body or spirit, both here and at home, and join us in number 300 with heart and mind. And I'd like to invite those forward who are going to participate in the story for all ages. Do we have a microphone for that? Oh, we do. All right. We'll put it back.
Fellow
Got a little reverb on it. Might need to turn it on.
Good morning. Yes. Good morning. So I'm going to invite one of our youth, Walter, up, and he's going to share about our youth compliment jar project.
Hey, Walter, can you go up there so folks can see you better? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Walter Kussman. Fun fact about me is that I like cats. Today is a community service day Today is a community service Sunday for RE, and we got to brainstorm ideas for how we want to help serve our community. My idea was a compliment jar. You write a random compliment and put it in the jar, and it gets passed around so everyone gets a random compliment. We want to invite you to write a compliment, poem, or something nice on a piece of paper to put in the jar. At the end of the service, you can take a compliment home with you.
Thank you, Walter. I would like to invite the children to go to the back and help pass out compliment papers and pens to people who need them. So thank you, Walter and David. Zinnia, if you'd like to help, you're welcome. Caden, if you'd like to help out. If you'll just head on to the back where Walter and David are. If you need a compliment paper, will you just raise your hand so that they know who to help? While you are writing your compliments, I'm going to share a story called The Heart and the Bottle.
Do you want me to hold that for you?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, you're tall.
All right. Okay. So this story is called The Heart and the Bottle, and it is by Oliver Jeffries. The Heart and the Bottle. Once there was a girl, much like any other, whose head was filled with all the curiosities of the world. With thoughts of the stars, with wonder at the sea, she took delight in finding new things. Until the day she found an empty chair. Now, if you'll remember, in the previous pictures, there was someone in that chair. Someone special. Feeling unsure, the girl thought the best thing was to put her heart in a safe place, just for the time being. So she put it in a bottle and hung it around her neck. And that seemed to fix things at first. Although in truth, nothing was the same. She forgot about the stars and stopped taking notice of the sea. She was no longer filled with all the curiosities of the world and didn't take much notice of anything, other than how heavy and awkward the bottle had become. But at least her heart was safe. It might never have occurred to the girl what to do had she not met someone smaller and still curious about the world. There was a time when the girl would have known how to answer her, but not now, not without her heart. And it was right at that moment she decided to get it right back out of the bottle. But she didn't know how. She couldn't remember. and nothing seemed to work. The bottle couldn't be broken. It just bounced and rolled right down to the sea. And there, it occurred to someone smaller and still curious about the world that she might know a way. And it just so happened she did. The heart was put back where it came from. And the chair wasn't so empty anymore. But the bottle was. Thank you for reading with me. We're going to sing Our Children Out. So thank you.
So today I'm excited to say that the youth are doing a service project. They're going to be going down to the labyrinth and pulling some weeds, spending some time out in nature, and I am joyous that we have a space to make that happen. So, I was going to read a really long Walt Whitman poem right now, and I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling that we just take a moment in silence, possibly, to recognize the world and to recognize and wrap all those beloved kids who just went down for an adventure in the world in the love and hope that they deserve. So let's just take a moment. Love and life. Surround our hearts in hope and strength that we may create brave space together on this day, a space where love is real and stronger than any other force around us. Let it keep us strong so our voices are clear for justice. Let it amaze us with its boldness as our voices ring true. Let us hold sacred, cherished space for anyone who's ever known fear of guns, fear of being in public. Let this place, this community, be a beacon of light and justice in Chattanooga, shining bright throughout the world, a place where we won't be silenced. We might be a little afraid sometimes, but we won't be silenced. We are strong and we are committed to love and justice. In that, I hold all of us in a sacred space of prayer. Now, I'd like to invite folks forward to light a candle for joys and concerns. There are many in our heart. I will light several extras. I think we need to fill this up today. I am proud to be here serving you all today in this time. I'm proud to be your minister, and that is giving me hope. And I'm going to light the first candle for that. What is indeed beautiful? So, it's Memorial Day, and I have been thinking about the nights on the Air Force Base when my kids were little. When it was almost dusk, and there was a sound in the air, and it was the sound of taps. Taps was a time when we knew if you weren't home, you were going to get in trouble at my house. It was a time when everyone settled in. On the Air Force Base, there was this thing called the Big Voice. I mean, we literally called it that. And it was just the announcement ringing out over the base, the Big Voice. And the Big Voice would tell us when the base was locked down. It would play the national anthem. It would play taps at night. And I just remember on the porch, the back porch with all my kids, just feeling this sense of warmth and being held just by us being there together. And when I hear taps, now it reminds me of a funeral. Taps was first played in Civil War camps, and it was played with a trumpet. I couldn't find a trumpeter last minute, but we do have a wonderful harp player. So when it was played in the camps, it was a message to the officers that all was well and that they could sleep that night, that it was okay to take a break and rest from the toils and terribleness of war. Rich, will you come forward? We're going to take some time to listen to this song and think of it as not something that's messaging us that a death has occurred, but what it was really meant for, which is a sound of safety and a sound of being held. What sound will we make for folks to know that they are finally safe? What sound will we make? It is tempting, or it was tempting for me, to dress pretty patriotic today. It's one of the 3 holidays we recognize the people who have given their lives for this country, and it is traditional to celebrate on Flag Day current people who are enlisted, on Veterans Day people who have served their country and survived, and on Memorial Day the people who died for our country. What is sad to me is that instead of that color of red, white, and blue that we associate with that, today I am wearing burgundy. And I am wearing burgundy, which is the school color of Robb Elementary School. And the people in that community are starting to wear burgundy all the time. The Coyotes, that's the name of their sports team. And I just imagine what churches are like there today and how hard this day is for them. It also occurs to me that people did not serve our country and specialize in learning how to use implements of war so that they could be brought back and used in their own country on children and people in shopping markets, on people because of their skin. See, I know a lot of folks who have guns. I have cousins and stepbrothers and half-brothers and stepsisters and all the people who've been in the military in my life. My husband, I know that when you sign up for the military, you sign yourself to the military. You accept at that point that you are giving your life to your country if necessary, and there's no backing out. When you are done, if you were like our family at Great Relief, that is no longer part of the deal, and you're welcome to go on and live your life. It belongs to you again. It is my guess that nobody sacrificed their life in this country so that we could have AR-15s available. Those are not guns that should ever be in anyone's hands, much less civilians. And I know that people who have common sense about guns out there are cringing at the idea that these things that aren't for shooting rabbits, even if you want to do that, are just out there and it's become a hobby. So I think that the folks who have lost their lives for our country would be happy today to know that I'm wearing burgundy instead of red, white, and blue. That I am here with those children who did not sign any kind of piece of paper to give their life away. I'm in a colleague group, and we were all trying to figure out what to say today and how not to cry, kind of emailing back and forth. And I said, I'm not really afraid to cry in front of y'all. I'm afraid about how angry my words will be today. I am afraid that I'm not going to bring you the hope that we need to move forward. See, that's my job. My job is to bring you bad news, but also give you the launching point out, the place to find hope. And I have a very hard time finding hope right now, but it is here in all of you. It is here because on Friday, some of us went down to Miller Park and we held up signs, and that didn't get on the front page of the paper that we were there protesting or holding up the names of those children who died. What got put on the front page of the paper was police don't react to little girl's 911 call with our picture underneath it. And I thought, if we did anything right, we kept that kid's picture off the front page of the paper. And that's a place we can start. We need to have a campaign and call the mayor in to get guns locked up in Chattanooga. We need to have common sense gun laws that we cannot keep resting in between tragedies. And we cannot insult the integrity of people who call themselves soldiers to defend us and still have our children in this much danger. And if you don't think it happens in Chattanooga, we're wrong. Schools, that school is a cute community school where this happened, Robb Elementary School. Those people have been together in community. People came to the awards ceremony that day, and that is my promise of not being apathetic. Like, my head couldn't quit going to how many award ceremonies I skipped. How many times I didn't make the time to bake cupcakes or go when my kids got an award attendance. Now, let's just be honest, my kids don't get a lot of awards. They are my kids, so I go to the principal's office, but not a lot of award ceremonies, but I still felt that, like that. Hug your grandkids, hug your kids, hug your cousins, hug each other, just be in the space of making every moment sacred. And be in the space of creating beacons of hope by not being silenced. We are so distracted by fights, fake fights in our government, not fights about liberty. We are distracted by what's going on, and moment by moment we are losing our rights. That is not what people in our country fought for. That is not what people in the civil rights movement fought for. That is not what people in this church for decades and generations have been fighting for. We have been fighting for peace. And I am proud today, I'll say it again, I am proud to be your minister. And I'm proud to have an opportunity to say these things to you. Thank goodness I didn't have to be afraid of being mad or crying today. Thank all of you for that. But let's stop missing award ceremonies and start making time to be there when it's uncomfortable and it feels a little dangerous. What was interesting about going downtown on Friday is it felt a little scary to get down there, but once I was there, I just was with my people, having fun, so proud, running around, illegally plugging into the venue so we could have a loudspeaker, doing the work of justice. And what was so amazing to me and what opportunity you all gave me this week was no one else was doing anything because everyone is just so wrecked. Other ministers are tired of having vigils. They're tired of organizing, and I was thanked repeatedly for just getting things organized, and I want to thank Judith and Judy for being there helping me, and I want to thank Chattanooga Multi-Faith, and I especially want to thank Moms Demand Action for never giving up, always being there in the in-between times. So what are we going to do? How are we going to change things? First of all, we're going to pay attention even when bad things aren't going on. We can't prevent this, but we can prevent one more person from getting a gun that shouldn't have one. We can fight, and this sounds like we can fight for medical care for everyone in the United States so that people have support and don't think that the only option they have to get attention is hurting people. We can be brave. I go around and I think, I don't want to put a Black Lives Matter sticker on my car. I've talked about this before. I don't want to do this. I don't want to draw attention to myself. And as I drive down the street, I look at hateful stickers on other people's cars, and I think, man, I'm a chicken. I need to be a little braver. So I keep coming to this, and I'm just getting louder and braver. So thank you for giving me that too, but we just have to be loud. We have to let people know we're not going to give up. And we have to let people know that it is okay to be afraid, but fear will not stop us or silence us when it is time for justice in our world. I am so tired of comforting kids when bad things happen. I'm so tired of it. I know we all are. I know teachers are. I know something new, though. I figured it out. It's weird, like, how you have that light bulb go off? I figured out what's going on. Police are afraid. I don't know why that didn't occur to me before. Blah. But after that headline of them not going in, because they were afraid they'd get shot. And I thought, well, of course they are. They didn't get trained to go into this kind of battle. That's not what the purpose of the police. The police is to protect and serve. Folks who are trained to go into combat are the soldiers I'm talking about. If you are fed, and we have to be loving to everyone, because if you are constantly fed a line that you need to be afraid of people, there is no way to protect them and serve them. I think I will be kinder to police after having this process and finding my empathy, and kinder as in, individual humans I'm cool with, individual soldiers we're cool with, right? But in general, what can we do to help create humanity instead of guns in our society? Don't forget this place is a beacon. Think about how special it is that we all came here today and are talking about this, because some places aren't. I'm proud of all of you for coming today. And we'll continue to fight, and we'll continue to do things, and continue just one chip at a time, one hug at a time, one I love you at someone who's flipping you off at a time until we get there. And that's the thing, the bikers who fly by flipping people off when they're holding up signs. I have just been shouting I love you at the top of my lungs. The lady who came up to us on the street and wanted to argue about guns, and I was like, well, I love you. And every time she said another thing, I was like, well, I love you. And she's like, oh, forget it, and walked away. We have it in our hearts to treat people humanely and to help them treat each other like human beings. And that is my hope, and that is the gift of this place. We know how to honor people. We know how to welcome people. We know how to be a bright, shining light in Chattanooga. And I'm proud to be part of that. May it be so, and blessed be. So this is a perfect song. I invite you to rise and, oh, we have to do the offertory. I was just going to leave and be done. We're done. It's fine. No, actually. Let's rewind for a second, Mandy, and do the offertory. So the offertory will be taken today. This church is needing your support. We have been becoming a little staff heavy as far as getting things done. It's just the pandemic's, up and down. We need you. We need your money. I'll just be honest. We need you to volunteer to be greeters and stand at the door. We need to re-engage in this particular community so that we can re-engage further in the world. One of the ways we do that is sharing our time, talent, and treasure. And this is a time where we can share our treasure to support being on the front page to keep that kid off of there, if nothing else. To be a place that was welcoming to people today who needed to come and be sad. That is worth our talent, our time, and our treasure. And the offertory will be gratefully received. Unless you're visiting, you can let it go by. We always say that, and I forgot, but if it's your first time here, let it scoot by, but please give generously because this place is worth it. Please join me in our offertory response. We give these gifts freely, committed to our mission to care, create beloved community, awaken hearts and minds, resist injustice and act with compassion, embrace life and care for the earth. To this work, we dedicate our offerings. And now, our closing song. I'd invite everyone to rise in body and or spirit and join us in 162, gonna lay down my sword and shield, and let this song be loud. We need it. you. Please be seated. What indeed is beautiful? Y'all are beautiful, and the work of this congregation is beautiful, and I would like to invite Dylan up to do our so what for today. And there's a microphone right there, friend.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Dylan, and I'm up here to talk to you today about a proposal that's before the RE Committee.
Religious Education.
The Religious Education Committee. There's currently a proposal to use RE budget funds to rent a van and take a delegation of the UUCC to the March for Our Lives march in Washington, D.C. on June 11th. March for Our Lives is a youth-led organization dedicated to ending the epidemic of gun violence in America. They recognize that it's an intersectional issue wrapped up with our ongoing quest for racial justice, environmental justice, immigrant rights, and the rights of our LGBTQIA+ community. If any of you here have an interest in being on such a van, we would leave on Friday, stay the night in D.C., march Saturday, and drive home. Please come and approach me after the service. If you have a young person in your life who you think would like to attend, and as we are all very well aware here, this epidemic is deeply and profoundly impacting our young people, and that's what this march is all about, March for Our Lives. Please come and approach me after the service and let me know. If we don't have any interest, this could fall by the wayside. If you have an objection to using UUCC funds for such an excursion, you can also come and let me know that as well. It's just
You can let me know that, actually.
Come
on.
Let Mandy know. Let her take that.
Just a minute, we're not doing announcements
It's
yet.
just an idea. It's just a proposal. But I'm passionate about it. I want us to be there. I want us to represent.
So we are going to do announcements in just a second. I want to explain the next part of the service because we're winding down a little bit. But we're going to wind down by processing out and doing, we have a beautiful memorial garden right outside of here. And it is our tradition on Memorial Day to go down there and pour some water and do a blessing. So as we end, we're all invited to kind of process down there together. I'm sure you can find Dylan later. We're going to extinguish our chalice and do announcements, and then we'll be going off air to leave the building during the postlude. So, in that spirit, please join me in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but keep the light of truth, the warmth of love, and the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. Fire of commitment. Now, if there are any announcements, I do have one. You can come up, and we have a microphone to pass around. I do have one announcement. The staff at this church needs your help. We need volunteers for greeting. We need volunteers, like I said, for watching the door. The tech crew needs volunteers. There are so many ways to get involved. If you've only been here one day and you know how to make coffee, that's cool. We have coffee pots. Any way that you would like to get involved and help support this community so that we can keep growing and showing up on days like this when we need to be together, we would really appreciate your help. And one of the parts of this church is we are a community, and so I would love to open it up to community announcements now. Come on up, whoever's ready. You are ready? All right.
I was just about to. Oh,
Is it on?
I don't think it's on.
It is.
Oh. All right.
They're trying.
I was
Is it?
just gonna say, there's a March for Our Lives rally the same day in Nashville, and it's on.
There's a March for Our Lives rally in Nashville as well, same day.
Noon, from 11 a.m. through, yeah, I think it's
We'll put it
Central
in
time
the,
there.
We'll
yeah.
put it in the newsletter. How's that sound? So we know when all these March for
I'll
Our
send
Lives.
it to you. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm just looking at the Facebook event here. It's on 10 Public Square in Nashville.
Okay, great. So folks who can't make it to DC. All right, Judith. One of my co-conspirators this week.
I just want to remind everyone that next Sunday after the service, we're going to have our very first of this year Social Justice Committee meeting. We'll probably start about 12:30. And if you're interested, we work on these issues all the time, all through the year. So come and help us decide what we're going to do. We stand out every Monday from 4:30 to 5:30. Reasonable gun control is one of our issues, but we have others. So as Mandy said, these are things we need to work on, not just when something happens, but all the time. And just one last thing, I've been doing some research lately about hope, and one of the things that keeps hope alive is action. So I'll invite you all to think about that. Thank you.
Should have had her preach. Oh, yeah.
I don't think Selena's here this morning, but this coming Wednesday, June the 1st, is the first and third Wednesday coffee time from 10 till noon. I have been fortunate that I have been off work to be able to attend the last 3 times. This will be my last time to attend, but it is wonderful. It's a great time to have some coffee, some snacks. You can bring snacks if you like. And we have been talking about a number of things. Lately, the topics have ranged around the environmental justice and how we can put that into effect in our community and in our church.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements? Oh, you put your compliments in the jar. Oh, is that your pledge? You can put your pledges in the box, your compliments in the jar. If you haven't pledged or you've already pledged, you can do it again. They go in, and it is, thank you, by the way, for holding something blue up. We are really asking that folks who are members of this congregation get their pledges in as soon as they can so that we can get our budget together for the annual meeting that is coming quick. We also encourage everyone, if you're not doing this, we'd love for you to sign up for automatic draft to just get your donations through your checking account. It's a lot easier for everyone for planning. And so now, as we start our postlude, is that the word I was looking for? I would invite you all to come on down to the Memorial Garden if you're willing, able, or want to, and join us for the Memorial Garden dedication.